Hello everyone, and welcome to this first impressions video. We've got the whole crew in here today, Zamok and Pandemonia, and we're going to just be going through some of the Knights of the Frozen Throne cards which have been revealed. So we're going to start off with an icebreaker. Oh.
Hey, good one.
So Icebreaker is a 3 mana 1/3 weapon for shamans that reads destroy any frozen minion damaged by this. So, first thoughts, Samok?
I really don't think. Well, okay, so it's very difficult to evaluate the card now because obviously there's been very few cards released. But at first glance, and especially looking at cards that already exist in the Shaman's arsenal, the card really doesn't look good in my opinion. You've got like, is it Water Elemental? The
Mm,
6 mana 5/5, or Frost Elemental, something like that.
yeah, Frost
There's
Elemental.
like
Water
cards
Elemental's
that
the mage card.
Frost Elemental, and then you've got the 1 mana spell for
Frost Shock,
Shaman, Frost Shock, and then I think there's one more,
Glacial
which like
Shard.
Glacial Shard. Yeah, yeah. So those are like the only three viable, in inverted commas, cards, because none of them are actually viable, and those are the only three cards that make this card viable for Shaman.
And
And
they only make it
two,
useful for a turn. So like, how are you using
yeah,
all three charges on it? So
and they're
first of
all
all,
2 card combos, which are
just
like
an overall
a bit whack.
disclaimer so we don't have to repeat it every time. This is obviously first impressions of some of the first few cards that are coming out, so we're by no means is this going to be like final review. We're going to have more reviews later when we have more context for the other cards.
Yeah, yeah.
So right now it's just based on what we've seen so far, what exists in the game already, and uh, what assumptions we can maybe make about the set. So yeah.
Yeah.
So like right off the
For,
bat with that.
for the card to be good, it needs a lot of support. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
Because
Yeah.
like Envenom doesn't see play, and Envenom has got a very easy setup. You dagger on 2 and then you Envenom on 3, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Envenom is not
Whereas,
like a turn 3 play anyway, I don't think. But anyway,
no, I'm just saying,
but yeah,
you know what I mean?
this card is like you have to set it up first and then you have to freeze. And really just unless there's something about the Shaman Death Knight card, I'm not sure.
Maybe the hero power will be something like freeze a minion. I don't know.
But interesting question though. It says destroy any frozen minion damaged by this, right? So if you damage a minion and then freeze it afterwards, then will it die, or does it only is it like ordering matter? Because you know some cards in Hearthstone track if it's just occurred in the game, right? So if
I think the ordering matters on this the way I
Yeah, I
read
think
it
ordering that is.
because
Yeah.
it's destroy it if it's frozen kind of thing. That's like how I read it.
okay,
So destroy any frozen minion damaged by this. I know what you're saying. You could maybe read it the other way, and that's one of the great things about how great Blizzard are at wording their cards. But yeah, based on what we can see in the game right now, it doesn't look great. But the freezing seems to be a theme of this expansion, as we would, comfortably guess based on the fact that it is based in or based around Ice Crown Citadel and the Lich King. So I'm expecting to see a lot more freeze effects, which are just going to be interesting because freeze effects can be quite powerful, and we saw how good Glacial Shard was for Miracle Rogue for Quest
For
Rogue mostly.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially against aggro decks, just to
yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see if what the synergies are with the Frozen
at
cards and
at the
whether.
moment it's not a good weapon because like it's a
No,
3 mana 1/3, which is a bad weapon, and then the effect is very conditional, and it at least requires 2 cards, right? Because this and another card.
yeah, and then you're
yeah.
spending
So
two
you'd rather
cards
play
to get
Hex,
rid
right?
of. Yes, well, you'd always rather play Hex as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
but like I see this as it has to be additional removal. You're never playing this over Hex, because with
100%.
this you pretty much you're gonna tank quite a bit of life. Shaman at least has the healing cards to support that, right? But yeah,
Yeah, but sometimes I mean the big threats you want to kill. It's a case of do you really want to take that
Yeah,
much
Jonathan.
damage?
Yeah,
exactly. That
like
that that's
like
the thing.
and that's yeah. Okay, I think we
So
pretty much
right
covered
now,
as much.
card
yeah.
Yeah,
not particularly great.
not good at all. Yeah.
So, next we have Plague Scientist, which is a 3 mana 2/3 rogue minion, and it has combo give a friendly minion poisonous.
This I think has potential. Like,
Zavon?
especially.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna wait for Panamani to elaborate.
So,
What?
especially, I mean, we were chatting about it with, obviously, with like if you play a pirate with this with patches, but also it's just I think a massive tempo. Like this, if tempo rogue, like let's say you play this on an Argent Squire, for example, it's just an annoying sticky minion.
Yeah, I think the way this will be played is you always want to be playing this on a minion that's already on the board. So the question to me then is how often is Rogue on the board when this is in effect, like that you want to use? And I think one of the biggest problems is the way tempo rogues play even is that they don't like try and be on the board and stay
Start
on
on
the
the board.
board. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about flipping the board. So that's why like for me I mostly see this used with something like you go Swashbuckler or like South Sea Deckhand or something like that into Plague Scientist so that you can get the poisonous on a minion with charge, either from patches or South Sea Deckhand. It's also nice
Yeah,
in the way that it gives you another out if you draw patches in Rogue, but a lot of the
yeah,
time, I'm not sure this minion is going to be any better than just playing Vile Spine, right? That's the
I
big
think
concern.
although
the
it's
big issue with
cheaper.
this card is that it's combo. That's, like
Yeah,
you can't just play Argent Squire on one, Dagger up on two, and then Plague Scientist on three. You almost always have to coin this out, And on turn two, say you're coining it out. Sure, you can trade up, but how often is a one drop killing a two drop so impactful into the game? When we're in these slower metas where the first few turns aren't as impactful. Because in the
yeah,
past we know that the first three turns basically could decide an entire game. But at the moment, in the way that we've seen, like Blizzard releasing their expansions, they've been very careful to make sure that that doesn't happen. And I think that in the upcoming meta, this is obviously very speculative, but I don't think that a one drop trading into a two drop favorably is going to impact the game so much that would make this card so playable. So I actually see it as more of a late game card.
I
So and
agree.
then once again you get into the argument of, okay, is it as good as Valspine Slayer? And then okay, it's not as good. Is it as good as Sap? Okay, probably not actually. Okay, should we play the card? Do we need six? You know what I mean? Six hard removals like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I definitely agree. I mean, at the moment, most Miracle Rogues are not even running Sap. Some
yeah.
are running one. Some of the Miracle Rogues aren't even running two Vile Spine Slayers. So it's like, I don't really think you need this extra slot. The
Yeah, you can
biggest
run one and then play Shadow Steps.
The biggest gain over Vile Spine for me is actually just that this costs less mana. One of the most awkward things sometimes with Vile Spine is comboing it off because sometimes some of the things you want to do might cost a bit more mana. It's usually just Gadget Sand though, or like in the
Yeah.
later turns, maybe you want to play a 3-drop plus Vile Spine, you have to wait until like turn 8. But the other big concern is having this plus Vile Spine plus like SI7 agent, you're now getting into too many things that want to be the combo payoff, if you, in a sense, rather
Yeah,
than
and it's
the
At the
initiator of the
activator.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's also a big problem with this card to me. But I think it is an interesting card, and I like at least the theme of poisonous for rogue. You know, it's flavorful.
yeah, it fits flavorful. Yeah, it fits the lore.
Yeah. Okay, so next we have Prince Teldaram. Teldaram. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. So
Todaro.
Teldaram, Teldaram,
Is
whatever.
this the 3 mana 2/2?
No, it's three
3
mana
mana,
three
3
three.
3.
So it's a
Oh,
3 mana 3/3 that reads Battle Cry. If your deck has no 3 cost cards, transform into a 3/3 copy of a minion.
So it's like a
um.
situational faceless manipulator, right?
So can we just go for
Whoa,
something? It
whoa,
does
whoa.
cost.
Actually, oh no, no, it's not even as good as Faceless because it just doesn't get the stats. I was gonna say maybe there's some like wombo combo charge you can do then.
There probably is some kind of wombo combos you can do though. Like I just saw
There's combos.
Purple
It's like mid.
tweeted. Purple tweeted something that's like Blood of the Ancient One innovates plus Prince Talderam.
Oh my,
And then it was like, I love the direction Hearthstone is taking with the new expansion.
wow.
But okay, but like I don't know if you want to do what we did last time, but like I could, just off the top of your head, go through each class and basically say what very important three cost cards that that class has, and then like, do you really want to drop every 3 cost card
I think
to run this
the
guy?
biggest difference between this and Prince Keleseth is that Prince Keleseth is something you do want to play as early as possible, whereas Teldaram is not necessarily that.
Well, yeah, what I was
So you
saying.
can
That's,
sometimes wait a little bit until so you can have 3 cost cards in your deck, a few of them, and
yeah.
then wait until they go out, right?
But We
But
saw people try and Reno freeze mage. Remember where you did have some duplicates.
And that worked. That worked.
Sometimes
yeah, I
it just
played
wasn't
that
as
quite a
reliable.
lot.
But I'm saying it wasn't as reliable as going the full Reno route, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
there's enough times you're
but
getting
that's
screwed
because you
over
very
because
often you need to
It
play
isn't.
Reno on 3. You're not very often playing this on 3.
I love that Reno on 3. No, I know what you mean.
Reno
Though.
on 6, yeah, sorry.
No, no. Okay, so like the main difference is also you can't really make that comparison because in the Reno freeze, the Reno is like you played it once your entire deck is empty anyways. That's why you could get away with playing, and it was actually a
Okay.
very successful deck. Whereas in like Reno Lock, you needed to play Reno on 6, as Dib was saying. And this is kind of, well, I see this as more of a late game card. So I think you can probably play maybe 3 other 3-drops with this. Maybe you have it as some kind of
I
combo
think
piece.
3 is too many. I think you probably
You
get
think
away with
3?
2 at the most. Because that means you
Really?
have to draw the 2 specific cards as well, right? Which is question, like, I don't know.
That's true. That's true. It could be put on the deck and the cards uses. But I mean that's always going to be the issue, and that's going to be one of the main limiting factors because if there's a chance that you lose a game because a card is at the bottom of your deck, like you never want to have that issue. You never want to have like, okay, this card could be last card on my deck, and that just caused me to lose the game every time. It's not like Alex being the bottom card of the deck in Freeze Mage because that doesn't guarantee you lose the game. But if this is like an integral piece of the deck,
Yeah.
that could be very restrictive. And 3 is a very important number for a lot of classes. Rogue, Paladin, and Shaman come to mind when I think of 3, especially. They've got a lot of power cards in 3.
Mage.
Yeah, Mage as well. Mage is mainly just Arcane Intellect, right?
No, secrets.
and, I
all
mean,
the secrets.
Oh, all the secrets. That's true. And
Volcanic
Frost Nova.
Potion,
Shit,
And-
okay.
and Frost Nova,
You-
and Volcanic Potion.
Druid affects the least, I think.
Druid is
Well-
probably the one class that can maybe sometimes get away with this if we're
As
not
long as you're
talking
not playing
Jade.
Jades and Feral Rage.
Yes, but obvious,
Yeah.
like you're never playing this with a Jade deck. Like if you play this
Come
with a
on,
Jade
Jade.
deck, the only thing you're copying is Aya,
Aya,
and that's not even
yeah.
that good.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can
well,
always put in the option.
I'd rather just draw a card closer to my infinite Jade Idol combo than copy Aya with this.
Yeah, but even I mean, Feral Rage is still a card as well that sees played. I mean, like
Yeah,
Tar
yeah.
Creeper.
I
I mean,
think
in terms of neutrals, Tar Creeper.
But
know.
this is playable like in some Druid decks. Like maybe Big Easy if you can copy a Sarah or some some rubbish like that. Like,
okay,
The thing
it's
with
possible.
the thing is that there aren't enough good other minions, let's say in Big Easy, to actually copy with this. Like what you're gonna
Yeah.
copy Deathwing Dragonlord. That's pointless. Just have 2 things that when they die bring all the dragons from your hand into the battlefield. So
Yeah.
But we
I'm just looking
digress.
through. Hunter's got too many important 3-drops. So you're not playing at Hunter.
yeah, for a
Mage.
second I thought this was 3-cost minions, and I was like, oh, it's actually really good in Hunter because all the 3-cost minions in Hunter pretty much suck. And then I was
Well, it would
like,
work
oh,
in
wait,
Mage as
never
well then,
mind.
because it's just spells.
And I also
it went-
actually thought that it was like 3, that it summoned another 3/3 for some reason. I completely read this card wrong at first.
Yeah, Paladin's got a lot of key 3-drops, especially
Yeah.
like. I'm just quickly going. Let's see. I mean, Priest. You've got Shadowwood Death, Cabal Talon Priest. Rogue. You've got Talon Arc.
Okay, no,
but
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. The card is not good enough to waste our time doing this. Let's not do this. No,
Okay,
the
so moving
card
on.
is no.
Yeah, don't
We
forget,
have to
don't
see
forget
the.
to all the neutrals, eh?
This is
Don't forget to
very
go for
much
the-
a build around, and it's probably a
Yeah.
bad build around. Like
Yeah.
it's
And this is more.
the payoff
Uh,
is not good enough, and it's just a
Oh,
bad build
yet.
around.
And I mean, there might be some, like some sort of Exodia where.
Yes,
Like,
but
I
no,
think I saw
no,
someone
no.
post-
But then we're talking like rubbish that is like the ancient one is probably the most like the best payoff I can think of for this.
No,
And
no, no.
that's
What I'm saying
meaty
is,
as hell.
I'm saying it's possible that they release a card
Sorry.
like in the whole theme of the Frozen Throne, where if you have all the cards, if you have the whole group, things go well.
Because if you have
there's
all
a
the
special
princes.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
I love that, I love it. If
These
things
are
go
both
well.
the princes. These are all the princes in Ice Crown
Dale, your
Citadel.
exact words. Your exact words are, if things go well.
Yeah, I'm saying if there's some combo or some combination of cards that it pays, there's another card that pays off for having all of them in play.
No,
I
no, I
know,
know
but
what you mean.
but
I
it's
know
being
what you
like
mean.
super
It's just
highly
funny.
optimistic with
Yeah,
no
yeah.
information that indicates in that direction. That's what I have to
Yeah,
say.
but I'm saying
It's like you can say
what I'm
you
just
could
saying
say
is
the same
that's the
about
only time.
Spirit Singer Umbra and the other one, the Vorax from
Guys,
last
guys,
set. They
getting
were both
so
rubbish.
so
Anyway,
distracted.
the one interesting thing about this is, and it's another card that's coming up, is it does pretty much confirm we're basically getting all the raid bosses from Ice Crown Citadel as legendaries. So we can predict a fair few of them, like Syndragosa, and yeah, I mean, if you know your WoW lore and if you know the WoW raid, then you can pretty much predict what all the legendaries we are going to get are going to be. So that's at least
Oh,
one
some
interesting part.
was cosplayed on the weekend.
Yeah. So next up we have Blood Razor. This is a card that's probably, hopefully, actually worth talking about. And it's a 4 mana
Yay.
2/2 weapon for warriors, and it has Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Deal 1 damage
Hey,
to all minions. Yeah, that's the part I missed. I was like, when I first looked at this, I thought it was only Death Rattle, and I was like, this is just so much worse than Death's Bite. Why are people comparing it to
Yes.
Death's Bite? Because, this card only hits for 2, and that change is massively significant. So yeah, but the fact that it has both is a little bit better. But I'll let Pandemonia start with this one, as he seemed
Yeah,
very
I'm
eager
most
to.
excited
he's the
about this
warrior.
card. Like,
He is the
like
warrior player.
I just had amazing, memories of Dead Spot. Obviously,
Take us back to the control warrior days,
yeah,
Pandemonium.
the good old control
What?
warrior
Because when
days.
I have amazing memories of Death's Bite, that's usually Patron Warrior. I mean, I was like, everybody get. Oh wait, never mind. That
Yeah,
was
no,
my reaction
my
to this
days.
card.
Yeah, so the thing is, the 2 damage is obviously less. I mean, 2 is obviously less than 4. So
Really? Whoa,
Control
obviously,
Warrior
whoa,
maths
hold
right
on.
here.
I haven't learned that yet. I haven't learned that yet. We're only
uh,
doing
I mean, ultimately though,
integers tomorrow.
ultimately though, you're dealing 3. It's 3, right? Because the initial whirlwind effect, you essentially
Sure.
delete 3. So it's
Yes,
not.
your
I
initial
mean,
attack.
I think it's got good potential. I mean, it all depends on, if we. I mean, we just have to think about what other 3 drops. I mean, what other 4 drops are there, and does this contest with it? And also, what synergies. So, what's quite nice is Acolyte into this is quite nice straight off
Yeah.
the bat.
That is good. I
Uh,
didn't think of that.
I mean, and then I'm just trying to think. Well, I mean, Frothing into this is also a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need it. Like,
Yeah,
I
the,
think
the fact that
good
it has the
to.
battle cry makes like such a huge difference versus just being death rattle,
Because you get
because
trigger,
you,
because you get
yeah,
trigger.
But I think that when talking about cards like this, it's also better to think of the card on like why is the card good rather than focusing on single cards that make the card strong. Like obviously certain cards like okay like the Acolyte synergy is very like
well,
good,
I
but
think
then
one
there's
of the big payoffs is also battle rage, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But
So
I mean like on a general level, why is the card strong? You know what I mean?
it's a
yeah,
wound
like,
effect on a weapon. It's
well,
like double wound effect on a weapon, which is quite good for warrior,
So
right?
would you
I don't
would you
know though,
pay 4 mana
because
for a 3/2
no,
that then
exactly.
turns into a 2/2 and then deals 1 damage and then as a whirlwind attached to it on the last charge? Because if it's essentially a lot of the time it's a 3/2.
Yeah. So like part of the main reason Deathbite was good was because you could kill two things at the right stats, right? Whereas so you can kill a 4 drop and a 5 drop generally with the whirlwind, with the 4 attack and the whirlwind effect. But this is not killing a 4 drop and this is not killing a 5 drop. So why is it good is my question. Like you're killing it only works against minions, like decks that are playing minions, like let's say 2 drops on turn 4. It's good against that, right? But
No,
even
it's good
then,
against Jade decks.
sorry?
Like Jade decks that curve slowly.
Sure.
Token
But
decks, I think it is good against token
but
decks
this
because you
is
can go
like
like
this is
Yeah.
duel and then
ultimately not how
this.
you win against Jade decks. So
Yes. Like,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
this is
look,
not.
if you're playing warrior against a Jade deck, you're probably losing, and it's Pirate Warrior.
yeah, this is good against token decks, but some token decks. Against token shaman, you do this when they have a healing totem on the board and you don't kill the healing totem because you're actually trying to kill one of the more impactful 3 damage totems, 3 health totems, right? Then the healing totem heals up the first whirlwind effect, and that kind of sucks for you. So
Yeah, I mean,
that
you could
is something
also
to
look at
consider.
So also, I mean, the combos obviously if you get the one warden effect, the second warden effect. You can do it in the same turn that you can
Break the weapon.
do a ravaging ghoul. So like
Yes.
you've got that
Sure.
ability to double, the double
Oh yeah,
warden.
that's true.
Or
Yeah,
sleep with the
holding the charge is
fishes.
probably a lot of the power of this card probably comes on that second right because
In fact, you
it's
can
like
hold it, and then you can play
what's it called
acolyte,
again?
ravaging
Where you
ghoul,
it's
or you
like
can acolyte
preemptive
trigger.
tempo, right? Like
Yeah,
preemptive tempo,
Yeah.
where you gain the tempo, like you lose tempo and then you gain it back later, right?
Yeah,
I
which is
think
kind of
I
like
think
what
that's the term.
weapons do a lot of the time, right?
Yeah,
Because the second charge of a weapon is very often the impactful one because you can do a lot more on that turn, whereas that's when you limit your opponent. And that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
also with like Deathbite, right? You limited your opponent from playing like a good 5 drop, like, good 5 drops for mostly, let's say like 5/5s around that stats then, and you can sort of threaten them. Whereas like this, you're going to be able to activate your other effects that want whirlwinds, like as memey as it is, we're talking like Blood Warriors is a thing, or that Sudden Genesis, right?
Maybe.
Like
yeah, I
Yeah,
can
so
never
this card,
sudden
no, but
Genesis.
this card does give sudden
sudden.
genesis some
So
viability, right?
so you're talking like Arcane Giant attack with this Sudden Genesis, like
And it just
that.
removes a whirlwind from the combo, which makes
No,
the
no,
combo easier to
legitimately
pull.
in like a
Yeah,
a
I mean, serious.
tempo control warrior deck that is running, like the whirlwind effects and like your wild pyromancer, commanding
if the
shout,
deck what,
that kind of
but if the
thing
deck
to
wasn't the thing
just
with
constantly
whirlwind
clear the board.
effects, I don't think this is going to make it a deck because
No,
we
but
already have all these whirlwind effects now. We
I'm
already
just
have
saying
them.
that's where it could work.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we'll
Uh,
see, right? We'll see.
yeah, we'll
But
see.
overall, I
I,
think
I,
it's a fairly good defensive card, especially against zoo style decks.
Yeah, it's not.
yeah,
It's not an aggressive card. It's not It's not, I don't think it's a card Pirate Warrior once, for example.
I think it's the
It's
best
Obviously.
of the cards we've seen
yeah,
that we've reviewed now. But I
Yeah.
still think most people are over hyping it based on their expectations of Deathbite. Or
yeah,
their like memories of Deathbite, right? And this
Like
is
old
not
man.
Deathbite. This is like we've seen this before where cards have looked like an older card and people have overhyped it. And I really do think this card is a fair bit below Deathbite in power.
yeah.
Mhm.
No, definitely, it's not. And then what the last card is? What Blood Queen?
Uh,
Yeah, so lastly we have Blood Queen Lanathel.
And
It's
they're
a
really trying to
five.
push this card. Warlock.
Yeah, it's
Like this
a
is Blizzard's.
it's a 5 mana 1/6 legendary for Warlock, which has lifesteal and it also has +1 attack for each card you've discarded this game. So as far as I understand, the effect will happen from anywhere. So if you draw this
yep.
after you've discarded 3 cards, she will be
Yeah,
a 4/6
I think that
with
is correct as
lifesteal.
well.
Yeah. So I'm
yeah,
just clarifying that up for the listeners. So
yeah.
Bill or
yeah.
Dib?
Well, I was gonna say Pandemonia seemed like he wanted to have something to say about this.
Yeah, I'm not like this is just Blizzard trying too hard once again to try to push certain archetypes. I mean, if we look at a 5 mana, 6 toughness, 6 health minion,
It's like,
basically
sorry.
for it to be, let's say, a 5 mana, 6 health minion to be decent statted, you'd say it has to be between 4 above, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
why
a
not?
5 mana 4/6 with life steal, you might play it.
So the
It would
question
be
is,
like,
what is the lifesteal like? How much lifesteal? I mean, how much attack can you take away to make for the lifesteal to like be able to compensate for it, right?
that's what I'm
So like,
saying.
would a
Like a
3/6
5 mana,
with lifesteal be fun? Or are
yeah.
you saying
I
it
mean,
needs to be at least a 5/6?
I would say 4 or 5/6 would be for it to be good. A 5 mana 3/6 with life steal would be okay. I would foresee it. I mean, that's the kind of card that strikes me as being sort of a vanilla common that doesn't see any competitive play.
A 5 mana
A
4/6 with lifesteal, you
No,
think
no, no,
is
no, 5 mana three
vanilla?
six.
Oh, three
No, I'm
six.
saying a
Okay,
5 mana. I'm saying a 5 mana 3/6. So basically, a Fen Creeper with life steal
but no
and no
taunt.
taunt doesn't really strike me as a playable card. 4/6, a 5 mana 4/6, I would say would be good. And then obviously anything above that is pretty insane. But now you got to ask yourself, like we said with the previous Warlock quests and things, how likely are you going to be to discard 4 cards by turn 5?
I
And
think largely you're underestimating lifesteal, particularly in Warlock. But I don't think that this card is necessarily that great, and one of the reasons is more about the fact that when you're discarding cards, you want to know that you're getting a payoff for it, right? You want to
Yeah.
know, with the quest, for
Yeah.
instance, that you've played the quest already. With Silverware Golem, you know you have Silverware Golem in your hand, so you go for the discard more often. Whereas with this, you never want to go for the discard whilst it's in your hand, and
Yeah.
you always want to draw it afterwards. And that, with a card that you can only have one copy of in your deck, seems a
Yeah.
little too like,
Ambitious.
yeah, hopeful. I was gonna
Very
say,
risky. Very risky,
yeah,
right?
you're
It's very
playing to
risky.
draw this, but
On
you
turn 4. On
like
turn
the
4
idea is
before turn
obviously
5.
right that you're tapping to make up for the cards you're discarding, and then this is making up for all the tapping you had to do.
I mean,
But
there's a longer argument with this, right? That the issue is actually just the discard mechanic as a whole, the fact that it's random.
yeah,
Like, and
sure,
that's the big issue. I
sure.
think another,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
another big issue with this card is, right? Say you get it to a 5/6 or 6/6. Now that's optimistic in itself, right? Like to getting it to a 5/6 or 6/6 is tough. You don't really want to be discarding that many cards, and you have to have certain things set in place to make those discards worth it, like the Malkazazim. I think it's called Malkazazim
Yeah,
and whatnot,
Yeah,
right?
Moxels,
So like
yeah.
just to make the quest, just to make the discards valuable. Then say you get this down, now you're low on health. You still need to actually attack with this minion.
Yeah.
And not be
And then
dead.
only, and then only do you get the value. So it's not even the turn you
Yeah.
play it, and you probably need to attack twice to actually make up for all this time, right? Because you're spending a lot of time discarding cards, spending a lot of time taking damage, and spending a lot of time tapping. And by the time you play this card, you still need to attack once, probably twice, to make up for
That's
it.
why I'm not sold by this at all. Like, I mean, obviously, unless they release a lot of discard support, so let's say other cards with something like Moxos Imp that kind of gives you some sort of payoff for discarding. You know, maybe they introduce some mechanic that.
Yeah, my one interesting like question I have with this is what happens if the Cruel Dynamancer, what happens if you discard this earlier and then Cruel Dynamancer brings this back on its death rattle, right? So Cruel Dynamancer is
I
the
think
6
it'll,
mana 5/5 with death rattle, bring back a
yeah.
card you discarded. So if this comes off, let's say, a Cruel Dynamancer, that's pretty nutty,
I
but
think it'll be a
You
1/6.
mean it brings it back? You mean it brings it back from being discarded? But then
Yeah.
it will
I
only
think
be a
it'll be a
1/6.
will it?
It's the
Oh no
same
no,
thing.
hold on.
Because the effect
But-
is
but
persistent even when it's in
Cthulhu,
your deck.
but
No,
Cthulhu
not in
gets
your
buffed.
graveyard. It's not though.
No,
But cards like Bolvar didn't.
but Bolvar
Like,
is very
Yeah, but
different.
Bolvar was
Bolvar,
hand.
this
Bolvar was
does
hand.
not work like Bolvar. Bolvar
Bolvar
has to
and-
strictly be in your hand
Oh
when
yeah,
all the
right.
things happen.
But the question is Cthulhu.
It's same
Cthulhu
thing
gets
as
buffed with
Knight of
Cthulhu.
the Beast, whatever, the Beast Knight thing that got reduced for beasts you played. That thing had to be in your
Oh, yes.
hand. The 7 mana 6/6.
Even though it didn't say. Even though that one didn't say. That one
Yeah,
just
that
said
one was pretty
beast.
weird. But from what everybody seems to be thinking about this is, even if it's in your deck, it will count. So therefore, does it count in all regions of play? Is my question. I'm not saying that
Mm-hmm.
makes the card good or not, like good, because that's too risky. Because to guarantee you're gonna get this back, you have to only discard one card, and then sure, a 6 mana 5/5 that has Death Rattle, summon a 2/6 with Lifesteal, I'd play that, but come on, that's not gonna happen very often.
Yeah, but also let's
Yeah.
not forget that you might just discard that 5/5 as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many issues with discard. It's like it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm
There's
not a
so
fan of it. I mean,
mean-
they're trying to push discard Warlock, and poor Blizzard. They really want to see a discard Warlock deck.
They're trying to push
Yeah,
a control discard Warlock in
Yeah,
particular.
because we had discard Warlock. You forget discard Warlock was very
Yeah,
successful.
I'm saying they're trying to push like a more demon discard Warlock. Like with the quest and things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, because
Slow
discard Zoo was never. It had discard, but it was never heavy discard. It was just Zoo with
Yeah,
it.
like,
Just-
yeah.
It played the right amount of discard.
Yeah,
really.
it had two Doom cards, Dark Shadow Baron, and Soul
What I'm
Shadow
saying
Baron.
is like Blizzard wants like a more focused discard. Like it's
Like it's the focus of the deck, right?
Yeah.
The idea isn't to like go wide. The idea is to discard stuff, which is.
I mean, this is
weird.
definitely a deck that feel this is like close to a quest deck, right? This is what the quest deck is supposed to be. This rather than for the zoo archetype. But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about this is more that lifesteal in Warlock seems good, and maybe that makes this card good enough in some way. Or maybe we'll see some other lifesteal Warlock cards that make that are just better to play than this, right?
Or even
Yeah.
spells. I mean, like, I
I
mean, they
think
could easily
lifesteal
do
spell
spells
is
with lifesteal.
lifesteal
Like,
spells
drain life,
are
basically.
a lot less impactful than lifesteal creatures or
Really? But
minions.
lifesteal spells take place
Could be
immediately if
quite
they.
strong.
Sure, in a
Like, I
way,
mean,
but
like, drain life, basically.
minions are also can often be more persistent, and they can also go face, right? So the
Yes.
fact that you can go face to lifesteal is also relatively important.
I
Because
don't think.
the thing about going face to lifesteal means they can't race you, so you're always winning the race like
Yeah,
that.
they have to remove
So
their
they
stuff,
have to attack into it or remove it or something,
right?
which is
I
somewhat relevant in some matchups.
I think
But
the weird
yeah,
thing with lifesteal is that like you don't actually play it when you're behind on health. You play it before you fall behind on health, right?
yeah.
Yeah, well, not
A
when
lot
you're
of the time, life.
it's not a recovery mechanism. It's a turnaround mechanism. You're playing it when you're at like 15, 16 health, not like 8, 9 health. Not when you're in range to die in the next turn or two, when you're in range to die over the next 3 or 4 turns, and this card can turn that around. Like, that is when
Yeah.
the lifesteal matters, unless you're putting lifesteal on things that are already on the board. And once again, like Adapt, and like Poisonous, we were discussing a bit earlier, I think that's the best way to use lifesteal, right? You want to be putting it on minions that are already on the board.
Yeah, like a buff, basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could
I,
foresee them put a spell where it's like, give okay, knowing Blizzard will be, give a demon like +3 attack and lifesteal, destroy 5 of your mana crystals. It would be like one of those.
Yes, I'm
wow.
sure that.
Yeah,
I'm actually sure that
destroy
that'll be.
5 of your mana crystals. Yeah,
It'll
no,
be a
that's
3 mana
not a
card
card.
though. It'll be a 3
No,
mana
but I
card.
mean, you get my
No,
point, though. It's
it'll be
gonna
like
something.
0 mana at that retardedness.
No, okay, you get my point, though. It's gonna be some.
You play on turn one. It's OP.
It might be something like that, though. Okay, maybe not 5 mana crystals, destroy 2 mana, one mana crystal probably. But
Dale, are you trying to predict cards here? That's a bit risque.
That,
like to live
that is a terrible prediction too. But I think we've really covered this, and we're going very off topic now. So yeah, well, that's I think all we have for today. There's obviously going to be lots more cards coming, and lots more of these
Yeah.
videos coming out more frequently. So like, follow us on YouTube and Twitch, etc. And you can find us on social media, Twitter. You can find Zaymok at peaceful_dinks, Pandemonia at Dale Pon, and myself at dib_gaming. So yeah, we've been talking about the cards there as well. So follow there to find out more about our immediate thoughts when the cards are released, and we'll keep doing these videos as often as we can.
And also don't forget about there's going to be like, you'll probably do it sort of, or you might do it sort of, but there's going to be like a proper evaluation once all the cards are revealed as well.
Yeah. Once all the cards are revealed, I will go through them with some provisional deck lists and those kind of things, like I did for the Journey to Angora. Whether I do that alone or with people, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, those are going to be more in depth and class specific ones. Break it up, and those are really cool. But for now, it's just first impressions on what these cards are. So
nothing too exciting. I think just sort of closing thoughts. Nothing that seems to be too meta breaking at the moment.
But there wouldn't be.
Yeah. No, sometimes there's a card that does, sometimes you never know. Sometimes it is.
yeah, like the Hunter Quest. Anyway, cheerio everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yes.